Am I allowed to speak, or are you guys going to remove me because you're intimidated by the truth, Roger?
What? She's talking to someone in the chat?
Oh, I know. I wasn't talking to her. And I definitely said Roger after my statement because I was directing it to a certain person. Did you not hear that? Are you retarded?
If you didn't want to on stage, you wouldn't be here.
How about that? Let's just behave like a human being. Fucking.
To Groot a, pink penis, dick riding black woman. But that's okay. Like, you go off.
I got your back. Yeah, don't worry. I find that to be. Oh.
And all of your sexual escapades are private. You do not need to confirm nor deny the penis color.
Who keeps removing her?
I did. She's being a troll. She's being a troll. And if she wants to not be a troll and have a real conversation, she's welcome to come up. But, I mean, just don't be an idiot.
Trolling is addictive. I used to troll ad Roger. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. I'm just going to go back to what Haitian said. I hope you don't think all of us, there are some of us Republicans, and I tout this endlessly on this app, that we need to not act like everything that Trump does as though God ordained it. There are those of us who actually get irritated with half the shit that man does. However, we still voted for him, and we'll stand in our shit. He has a lot of shit, but we stand in our shit. So I just hope you don't think we all think that he's the second coming of Christ. Because it does come off that way on this app. I can definitely admit that, and it's irritating.
And I think he should get credit for things he does positive. Like, I think his labor secretary pick was outstanding. Picking somebody that supports the PRO Act. I mean, I personally didn't see that coming, and it was a great pick. I don't think his labor relations board is going to be that good, but I hope I'm surprised.
I have a question. What is the topic, or what kind of equality are we talking about? Are we talking about equality, in money, equality in jobs, equality in power? Like, what is this loaded question?
What up, Devon? Well, why don't you tell us your take on the title, and then we'll engage with it.
Well, I will say this. Peace to Haitian, my brother. I haven't shared the stage with you in forever. Everything's good. When I see the word equality, I think equal in all things. But I don't see equality in my own community, and I damn sure don't see it across the board. I mean, I look at how white Americans treat each other, and you guys sometimes treat each other horribly. Like, I've witnessed it, just mean and nasty to each other. So I can only imagine how you feel.
But how? Okay, like, let's stay focused on equality for a second. So you can treat people well and still recognize that we're not equal. People in a family, for example, can treat each other in a very loving way, and then recognize that that they're not equal in ambition, talent, anything. And so I'm simply recognizing the fact that we all know, which is that people are not equal, and then the question should be, once we accept that we're not equal, should we force equality?
Well, how are we not equal?
Well, a few ways. So, for example, there's some people on this stage that are better looking than others. There's some people on this stage that are more educated. There's some people that are more intelligent. There are some people that are harder working. There are some people that are more skilled. There's some people that are more patient. There's some people that I mean, I could go on and on and on.
But you can't use equality to measure those things. That just makes people different.
Correct. And when those and when we start thinking about the differences in somebody's, let's say, talent, skills, and ability, knowledge, and their drive, that would lead to different outcomes when it comes. Sorry about that. That would lead to different outcomes when it comes to wealth creation. But then we have people that say that, oh, well, this person over here has too much money. There's literally people on this stage that believe that we should tax people more based on the income that they possess. And then there's people that will take it to a step that we should not only tax their income, we should go ahead and tax their unrealized gains. And so the point is that I don't believe, and I'll just put my cards on the table, I don't believe that we should ask the government to put their hand on the scale to try to, improve outcomes when the reality is people are different and those differences are going to lead to different outcomes, and that is justified and moral. And putting your hand on the scale to say that the person that created more wealth should have to have some of theirs taken to give to the person that lacks in certain areas, I think that that's a huge mistake. And I'm here to say that if you prioritize the idea of equality over concepts like justice and liberty, you're going to get none of it.
All right, I hear what you're saying. I mean, but then you have those who will be on the other side and totally disagree with you. Yeah, you should work for everything that you have. But when someone has had a massive head start, and when society is just, has rules and regulations that don't apply to everyone, or when you have a justice system that is unfair, I mean, all of that sounds great, but you have people that are up against way more than you probably could ever imagine. And so, yeah, I'm not for a handout, but I am for a hand up, an opportunity. Just equality in that way. So I'm a New Yorker. If you go to a public school in, let's say, Staten Island, it's going to be a way different experience than you go to a public school in Brownsville. So, it's unequal. And so the opportunities are unequal. And therefore the outcomes are not going to be the same. So I'll end with that.
So, okay, so let's talk about that. So if your parents make particular choices that end them up in a career and a geography that's, let's say, less affluent than somebody else that made some other choices, you're suggesting that somehow somebody ought to intervene to create conditions that make up for these choices that were made, that cause people to be in a particular neighborhood. Is that what you?
No, it goes beyond parents. This goes back to great-grandparents. This goes back, a millennium. So you can't
So you want a policy
what
that
someone
goes
is
back
going. No. What I'm saying is this has been happening to not just someone's parents. This happened to their parents' parents, and therefore they're in a vicious cycle.
What's your
of
proposal?
being
What's your proposal?
I don't have a proposal. I'm just stating what's happening.
Yeah, well, I do have a proposal. I have a proposal that people look to self-governance and they look at as long as the law gives equal protection to every individual, that is the standard we should be looking for. And if we could identify areas where the law is not doing that, we should all work together to change that. I would make the argument that those that are asking for equal outcomes or even equal opportunities are disregarding the importance of equal protection under the law. Because in order to make people equal, you're for the government to do that, you would have to take from somebody to give to others, and I don't believe we should.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not for the handouts. Look, they just did something in my own neighborhood and it pissed me off. Right? They brought out a rapper, and they said they have mental health people for people to speak to, and they gave out turkeys. No, that's not it. I don't agree with that. Why are you taking that money to pay a rapper? Because I know he didn't come for free. Why are you taking that money to buy turkeys to give to the people to say, hey, look, we did something for you? No, these kids need opportunity. How about the trades? I'm a big proponent of the trades. Why aren't you bringing programs that are really going to make a difference? Charter schools, they're throwing millions of dollars at charters. Why aren't you throwing millions of dollars at schools that are geared towards these kids getting real life skills? Carpentry, electrician, plumber. No, you got to go and you got to pay a tuition to learn these skills. So, again, I'm for the hand up, not the handout. So I'll end with that.
Well, I will say, and I know there's going to be an issue, you probably won't like it because it means abandoning certain developed communities, but I just looked it up, and it says that 14% of Americans, which is approximately 22 million adults in the U.S., work 100% online. My husband and I left Colorado to a state that was a lot more affordable so that we could put our now 6-year-old son in private school. Right now, by the grace of God, we had a job where we could do that, right? And not everyone's in that position, but with the workforce now almost being automated and completely online, is it now fair to say that if a parent has the opportunity, keyword, has the opportunity, and they're making the money where they can give their child a head up and a better start, do we now put the pressure on them and say it's time for you to do what's best for your child?
I mean, who doesn't do what's best for their child? I don't know anyone that doesn't do best for their child.
Well, I've thrown this argument before, and some people think that it's wrong for me to suggest that if you're in the opportunity to relocate to a state that offers the schooling that you're looking for and alongside is lower cost of living, that's wrong because you're abandoning your community, right? But I'm just saying, that's an opportunity. We've transitioned because of COVID to people working remote. And so if your school in New York is absolute shit, right? And if you have the opportunity, move.
Yeah, that's crazy. People can't just up and move, man. It costs money.
If their work is remote, again, and you can give your child a better job and live in a more affordable town, why wouldn't you move?
Well, I would say that you should share that information with people who are living in those types of areas. We tend to hoard information. We tend to not look out for each other. It's about me. If you have information where someone can relocate and get a job and what those qualifications are, I urge you to go online and share that information. You might change somebody's life.
Are we bypassing what I said?
No, I'm not bypassing what you said. What are those?
In California or New York, where you guys are making 6-figure, because I understand the cost.
I'm talking about people that don't even have a job. That's what I'm talking.
No, I'm talking about people who live in a state where they're required to get paid higher per hour, right? But it's remote.
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that.
Go to the Midwest, right?
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that.
Go to a place. Okay. Yeah. It's reality of what I'm saying is that we have increased 14% of the American population to remote jobs. Are we claiming that only people who work remotely are happy? That's what I'm saying. How many people do we know work a remote job where they should up and move their family to an area that is better on their values and can give their child a better opportunity? This is stuff that we don't talk about in the Black community.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that works online and makes 6 figures or not even over 40,000. Yeah, it's not happening. So again, if you know of those opportunities, I urge you to share them. Hey, this place is hiring. You can work remote and they're paying X, Y, Z. You should take a look at it and maybe you can get yourself up out of this position that you're in. That's what I'm saying.
I've just personally heard a bunch of Californians who tell me they make $250,000 remotely, but they hate their state. Their kids are in shitty kids or in shitty schools, and that government is out to get them. So I don't know. I'm just
where do they work?
They tell me they work for tech companies.
Like CoreLogic,
Okay.
Zillow, that's another one.
Yeah,
There's many different companies. It doesn't even necessarily have to be in tech. But one thing that I did want to say was that, Rydell, there's certain states and even certain companies that have certain limits that, despite the fact that you're working from home, you still have to be living within a certain proximity of the office.
Interesting. Okay. Because I was under, especially something that's quite common, was there was a ton of people that, at least, again, this is what they said, individuals moved to Texas when they were working in tech jobs in New Jersey and New York. So they kept that salary based on that high cost of living location and relocated to a place that was much more affordable, especially during COVID.
And you know what companies did? Companies either readjusted their salary or gave them their walking papers. Because again, with certain fields, you have to be in a certain reasonable proximity to get into the office. And they're not going to burn up the resources and flying you out and housing you and putting you in a hotel to be able to accomplish that. That's your move. That is your problem. So at the end of the day, yes, there have been a lot of companies that found out that their employees were working further than that proximity and either gave them their notice or they adjusted that pay.
Hey, D, can I say something right quick? This ain't, I like the little back and forth that y'all got going on, right? But just, divine, yeah, I believe in God. I ain't religious or none of that, but yeah, just put something on my heart. You sound genuinely and authentically, compassionate about trying to improve, the environment in which you live, correct?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I'm okay, but I'm a teacher and I served underprivileged children where I work. And yeah, I mean, I've done other things before that. I was in the music game. I made money. I did my thing. I've opened and closed businesses throughout the years. So yeah, I'm definitely a proponent of getting these kids where they need to be. I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay, but dig this. Y'all been to Brooklyn. They did a lot of fucking up in Brooklyn. But check this out. So here's what I'm saying to you. And just like you, I've done a whole bunch of shit in the hood. I'm talking about in the hood. 64th and Parnell, Chicago, Illinois. 88th and Figueroa, Los Angeles, California. Right now in Vegas. Now, here's my personal experience. This ain't some theoretical shit I heard on one of these apps. People just spitting shit out their mouth because they want to think they sounding good, right? My thing is this: I've been playing golf now for 40 years, right? And if a lot of people are unaware of the fact that minority scholarships to college go unused by American minority citizens, right? Because they don't play golf. When I used to play tennis when I was a shorty, right? And I used to have to fight because they would call me every name but a child of God. You know the names that they would call me in the black community because I was a young black man carrying tennis rackets, right? So I used to work with Jim Brown, the American program, teaching, facilitating courses of life management skills. And I'd go into these schools, similar to the school you teach at, right? And I would speak to these kids, or I would try to speak to these kids about self-determination, about wanting more for themselves, right, than somebody outside of them. Try to tell them how special they are. They're like a snowflake, no two of them, right? And some of the feedback, and I did this shit for like 15 years, my nigga, because check this out. My little brother, not something I heard, right? My little brother got the whole back of his fucking head blown off because he was a Hoover Crip in Los Angeles, California. My little sister got killed in a drive-by shooting accidentally and left 5 children on this planet, right? because she was a dope fiend. She didn't know who none of her baby daddies were. This is my personal life. I ain't looking for no empathy. Don't get it twisted. Don't nobody, I don't need no crying shoulder bullshit, right? I am a Marine, okay? So one of the things that being a Marine taught me was that self-preservation is the most important thing. When you're on the airplane, they tell you put your gas mask on first before you get to trying to be a fucking hero, right? So I go into the hood and I talk to these kids, and you know what? They don't want to hear none of that shit I'm talking about. Watch this. I worked as a drug treatment referral counselor after selling, well, like they say, anyway, anybody that know me know my past, right? So I did a lot of fucking up. Now, I became a drug treatment counselor for the purpose of sending people to treatment to get off the addiction of, drugs. And yeah, man, all I'm telling you is, Divine, check this out. And I'm still doing it, and I'm gonna do it until I die. But my lack of enthusiasm my enthusiasm has waned, because people talk about how they really want to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and they want to hand up. But in essence, what it boils down to, based on my experience of what they do, not what they say. Man, do you know how many black girls I have told to bring their kids to the golf course, and I would not only buy their equipment, but teach them for free? You know how many of them bring their kids? None of them, bruh. I done went and picked them motherfuckers up. Yeah, man. So it's disheartening, and don't get it twisted. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing until I die, until I fucking croak. But yeah, man, it's keep fighting, dude. The bottom line at the end of the day is that everybody that you try to give a hand up, that say they want a hand up, don't really want a hand up. They want you to reach in your pocket and give them a dub, and yeah, and go and do some shit with the dub. And yeah, so yeah, I want to hog the stage, but listen, Roger, you already know, baby, I fuck with you the long way. You a gangster, and that Haitian dude, I want to bump into him. He's smart as fuck. Is that Miss? How you say your name, lady? Miss D, Miss De Grot.
Oh, Mrs.
Yeah, I like your gimmick too, Mr. Groove. Yeah, if you didn't already have a husband, I'd probably be hitting on you. Anyway, Stamia done fuck around and boned out because she knew I was finna get her digits. Ain't no question.
I gave you
I don't agree with half the shit you say, Dr. Adams, but I like your get down, bro. You say shit with your chest, and you keep doing that. Even if you agree or disagree, fuck what somebody else say, believe what you believe, and stand up for what you believe. And yeah, all of that. And who else I want to holler at? Anyway, yeah, Divine, keep doing what you're doing, bro. And my nickname is Freeway. My best friend is Freeway Rick Ross. I had $100 million when I was 25 from fucking over people's lives. And I go to neighborhoods and I talk to people and I talk to their kids. And some of them take my advice and a lot of them don't. And guess what? I'm going to keep giving it to them till I fucking die. You smell me? Freeway for life. I love the United States of America and all the rest of you motherfucking Americans. Now, how about that?
Appreciate you, man. I gave you a follow. I wanted to let you know I definitely gave you a follow. Appreciate your words of wisdom.
Blessings, honor, respect, King.
Well, you guys don't get quiet now, because man, he definitely said, I guess y'all want to let it breathe. And that's true. Like the old saying goes, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. And I've seen and experienced exactly what you're talking about. There's so many opportunities that people just, sometimes they just don't want to do it. And the fact, golf, like, shit, I wish I was close to you. I would come and get those lessons, grown men, because we know those deals and those conversations that many of us are not privy to, they go down on the golf course. I know people in this room know that. With that,
damn, did I fuck up another room? I hate it when I do that.
Sorry, what were you saying, Unc? I had to jump on a call.
Who was that just asked you that question?
Oh, that was Adams.
No, I was just saying I killed another room. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. Y'all was having a spicy little combo, you dig? And yeah, I brought up all my bullshit, and then everybody decided they didn't want to talk no fucking more. Y'all keep talking, goddammit. Stop playing.
I was just sitting here doing my Black American anthropological reading because we gonna put some of this nonsense to bed.
Well, just for the record, I'm praying like a motherfucker that Donald Trump do some shit to help all American citizens, black, white, Mexican, whatever the fuck, Chinese, it don't matter, right? Because, you know, we all bleed red, you dig? So, and all this fighting over Democrat, Republican, Independent, blah, blah, blah. Somebody told me, and I don't know this to be true, so don't ask me for no receipts and none of that other bullshit, but here's what I heard. The average fucking elected official, politician, Republican or Democrat, Congress, Senate, whatever, is worth $10 million. Can anybody like say that's true or not true or what? I mean, you know what I'm saying? And then how the fuck can you be a senator and make $140,000 a year and amass a fortune of goddamn it $10 million?
Whew, I can't wait until January. I cannot wait. James, what the hell you wait until now to come up?
I've been smoking on a blunt, so I had to cough a little bit first. I can't wait till January either. You said that, and I just had to come up because it's just like, you know, I'm so glad that we're going home. I feel like we've been over at, you know, your abusive stepmom's house for 4 years, and it's finally time to go back to Dad's house and shit.
Well, I just hope they start getting these deportations cranking. Like, you know, speaking of, you know, living abroad, I feel like, you know, in California lately, like I mentioned, you know, it's feeling more and more like Tijuana every time another Democrat comes into office. By the way, Christy, in the chat, did you know that Ebonics has its own form of sign language that's different from English Sign Language?
My favorite word in sign language is diarrhea. It's just imagine how it would. If you look it up, you'll see why it's fucking hilarious.
Is the hand gesture very similar to an upside down sprinkle of salt on food?
No, you hold your hand behind your butt and you make the noise and go and shake your hand. That's literally that's the gesture for it.
Wait a minute. What if you're deaf and you're mute?
I mean, I guess you don't have to do noise, but I used to live next to deaf people, and she would just talk about her diarrhea all the time, and it was just the funniest symbol I've ever seen.
Wait, Marshall, did you know that Ebonics has its own form of sign language? Wait, I thought that was Marshall. James, is Brian Marshall?
I have no idea which one. I think Marshall's Marshall, right?
No, somebody. Oh, okay, Matt. My bad. That was embarrassing.
So Jules here is asking about my carjacking. No, Jules, they held a gun to my head and said, "I will kill you if you don't get out the car." So I got out the car with my rifle and opened fire.
Is she having an issue with that?
It's one of those people who doesn't, who thinks that having a gun held to your head and your life threatened is not a reason to shoot the person.
Got it. Yeah, that's very weird. So, Jules, walk me through this. Had he not had a gun, okay, and blew that man to smithereens, he would have been the said person dead. So, I mean, don't you think that it's a better idea to have a law-abiding citizen alive as opposed to a carjacking criminal?
Yeah, there's a reason I'm free and not in jail and didn't even go to jail or experience it at all. In fact, I got handshakes from the police. It's pretty crazy. But then again, that same night, there was 4 other people that were carjacked, women, and they were murdered at the end of their carjacking. So as far as they know, I saved countless people's lives from killing that one single guy.
Yeah, I don't think that they look past that. Very shallow and selfish people.
And I will say, it was a crazy feeling to be up in St. Louis in the middle of the night, to have some thugs run up on you. It's their street. They think you run it. You get out, you open fire, they all scatter, one hits the ground, and the whole street clears out. I felt like I was the law at that moment. I was the sheriff of that street. It was amazing. Yeah, I own the hood, exactly. Yeah, I was fully engorged 100%. You get some adrenaline like that, I mean, you can barely. Let me just tell you, the way that you start, maybe it's just me, I'm a very fast thinker, I guess. You can't even remember what happened 10 seconds ago. Your memory it's happening so quick that your memory is not able to register in your brain.
Did you ever get to hear from the family of your perpetrator?
Yeah, I heard from them in court, and they said retarded things like, "That's the dangerous one. That's a dangerous man. He could have hurt somebody." But what's funny is that I only shot 3 times because once he pulled far enough away, there was houses behind him, so I held my fire to not hit houses. So clearly I was not dangerous at all. In fact, I'm the right type of person to be out on the street with a rifle.
Did they give you your guns back?
Yeah, I've got it back and everything. It's sitting right here next to me. I love it. I got it back in 2 months, which is super quick to get your gun back. They went to a grand jury to present the case to ask if they wanted to charge me, and the grand jury said no. So once that happened, it's just it's all good. The police testifying also helped me quite a bit. I know when I walked out, because I didn't just like shoot the guy. You know, when he started to get into the car, I put it in neutral so that he would chase the car down the hill a little bit. I figured he wants the car, make him, distract him with the car. And they just couldn't believe that. They were like, we can't believe that you had the thinking to put it in neutral, make him chase the car, get out, load your rifle, and then open fire. They were like, it's amazing. And then they kept asking me, like, are you going in the military? I thought about it. Maybe I will.
Man, sounds like they should give you a key to the city.
Well, Ruth, there's the question of why not drive away. And the answer is that guns can shoot you from a distance. My goal was to not get shot.
Damn, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, his family was angry. What's crazy is that he had like no criminal history before it, so it was really fucking weird. Yeah, and he was the general manager of a lion's den. I'm not sure, of 4 lion's dens. I'm not sure why this successful person decided to come up and put a gun to my head in the middle of the night.
That sounds crazy. James, that sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. It's so crazy that there are people who don't believe it. And when they don't believe it, it makes me feel so good because it's just like, I am the man, the myth, the legend. You know? So crazy that I'm standing next to Hercules in mythology.
I'm just curious, with your rifle, they didn't see that in your hand or when you got out the car?
So the M&P Sports 2 Edition Smith & Wesson is a little bit shorter than most rifles, so I was able to hold it behind my back a little bit. I also wear a full suit jacket when I'm working in suit, so I did have a little bit of coverage.
I just was curious. I mean, it's a good thing you had that. It sounds like. I don't know how long ago this was, but
this was October last year. So I mean,
a year
he
ago.
died. I mean, the grand jury said no charges, but I could be charged 30, 40 years from now. So let's see what happens.
Hopefully not. They're not appealing it, or are they appealing it?
No.
Trying to, or?
No. Say once nobody's pushed for it since. And you know, to bring me in as the for victim testimony, because there was more than one guy. Some of them went to jail. If you want to put the other guys in prison, it's hard to convict the victim.
Yeah. So my other question was, so there were 3 other carjackings you said that night?
Yeah, there was 3 other that night. And actually, there's a buddy of mine that's actually a pretty good famous person around here. His name is Anthony Rogers, and his cousin just 2 weeks ago was carjacked, drove around the city, and then murdered, shot in the head 5 times in a street alley. And she's a woman.
And they killed those 3 before, or the ones before?
Yes, the carjackings in St. Louis usually end in murder.
Wow. End in murder?
Yeah, end in murder. They usually kill the person they're robbing.
Wow. St. Louis.
Yeah, me and Trump have a lot in common, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Catching fucking bullets, taking down bad guys.
St. Louis, Missouri, you said? Or
Yep, St. Louis, Missouri.
why is it so out of control there?
I don't know, but I like to drive around listening to Try That in a Small Town, even though it's not a small town.
I don't know who that is.
My new theme song is Big Iron on My Hip by Marty Rogers, old Western theme song. It's good shit.
So, you don't, why wouldn't you, have you changed to handgun instead?
Well, I actually carry a rifle and a handgun, but I didn't have the ability to reach for the handgun at the time, so the rifle's what I grabbed.
And it's hard to keep the handgun on you. Wow. Because I know here in Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to carry it on you. I think you got to have it in 3 spots in your vehicle, or your glove compartment and separated bullets, can't have them together. If I was in a situation like that, I guess I would have all that shit together anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I followed the law completely correct. So I did have my gun where it was. So there's one little part on the gun. It's just this little bolt where the barrel will come off of the firing mechanism, right? So I had to put that down and then push that bolt in, and then I was able to shoot. So that was me trying to legally carry the rifle. It was taken apart, quotation marks.
Yeah. You're lucky. Especially with those other 3 people not making it. Maybe you saved, like you said, endless lives.
Yeah, who knows? You know, somebody's mother, somebody's sister, somebody's daughter. It was a Honda CR-V, apparently the most common car to be stolen.
And the person who did it was in charge of the Lion's Den, like the adult play stores. No wonder he was doing that. Probably hated his job.
Yeah, it was weird. He had no criminal past at all. He just decided one day to just, him and his buddies, to throw a gun in some guy's face. And they chose the wrong fella to do it to. You gotta learn a lesson somehow, right?
How many did you say were there?
There was 4 that were there, but they only say 2 of them were connected.
2 of them were friends or buddies or whatnot?
Yeah, so one of the guys, his name is Israel something. So he had a funny accent. I'm not sure where the hell he's from. Not black. He was like, just, you know, kind of I thought he sounded Norwegian. But he came outside. He was part of them, one of their friends. And he's like, what's happening? And I was like, give me your phone. I held him and put him on the ground and told him, you know, he's not allowed to move. I mean, I didn't put him on the ground or nothing. You know, I just held him there. But then he like started to like walk towards me. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I was like, do not come close to me. I don't know who the hell you're with. I was like, I need your phone to call 911 so we can sort this shit out. I was like, you need to just stay there. I'm sorry I have to take your phone, but this has to happen.
Yeah. Well, at least you got the cops there. Sometimes they don't even come to things like that, I guess.
Apparently, they were coming before I even called, because when you pop off a rifle in the middle of the city, people call for you.
Well, yeah, I'd assume that too. Sounds like I don't want to go down there if I'm a truck driver, even.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Not at night. What time of day was it?
3 a.m. in the morning.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that's a little late being in that area.
And I say I was over in
early.
The regular like business side, but then an order, because I was Uber driving, took me over there, and I was like, screw it, it's only like 2 minutes out of the area. Turns out if you go a minute down the street, you're in the middle of the ghetto.
Oh, Uber driving too? You were doing that on top of it?
Yeah, that's what he...
I didn't hear that part.
I think that, they say it was the customer that set it up. They were just trying to rob an Uber driver that night or something.
Oh, wow. Did Uber kick you off completely?
Oh, yeah, I got fired. They didn't like it.
Back at all?
No, they did not, but it's okay. DoorDash was okay with it.
Yeah. Oh, because you were probably in the middle of an active Uber when it happened. Right? Or you were about to be.
And they had to pay me for it, quite a substantial amount.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I made the argument because at first they said they didn't want to, and I was like, oh, but you guys, so what it sounds like to me is that you guys prefer your drivers to be murdered in the middle of the night, because then it's easy for you to replace us instead of replacing the stuff that we lost if we survive. And they were like, the lady, the legal, I didn't even have a lawyer or anything. The legal lady I was talking to, she was like speechless. She was, I have to put you on hold. She sounded all scared, and then she came back 20 minutes later and gave me an offer.
Decent one?
Oh, one so big that I had to sign an NDA.
Oh, wow. That's crazy, because...
So I can say as much as I want, except for the settlement price and everything like that.
Up here in PA, right around the ride times, I ended up getting kicked off. Well, I got kicked off Uber and Lyft, but I was taking some kid to get his supply drugs. And, like, I was very kind. I had a 40-minute video of the trip. They don't want to get it. They don't, and then they say, oh, you had a couple others. I said, well, yeah. is a state law. You can't do that here. I can't take your baby without a car seat. It has to be buckled in backwards and all that shit. And I eventually got kicked off of Uber, then finally Lyft right around election time.
If someone I have blocked is in this room, who would I have blocked? Oh, it's V. I'll unblock you, V. I'm sorry. You must have me blocked. That's the only reason I can see I would do that.
So you still do DoorDash, or what are you doing now?
Wait. We skipped over the best part. Why exactly did you get kicked off of Lyft?
Me?
Yeah.
Right around election time, 2020, people were like, we were talking, and I think one person just complained about me. On Uber, they said I was under the influence, but the guy was going for his own drugs. And
what happened in the room?
45.
Wait a minute. What happened in the room? How come nobody's in here? What's going on? What happened?
Nothing.
Where'd everyone go? Dude, we got to the part of the day where Cool C is speaking. Jesus Christ, this is like a Tuesday afternoon at the titty bar. This is not the fucking right crew.
We were actually talking about James shooting someone while he was on Uber.
No, we were talking about why Cool C got kicked off of Uber
But right
and
before
Lyft.
that, James shot someone.
No. We were getting to the best part. So why did you get kicked off of Lyft?
It was right around election time. People didn't like. We were talking, and people just didn't like talking. Who knows? They report. I had a dash cam in my car. They report all sorts of things like under the influence just to get their money back, or taking kids. If you refuse to take someone because they have a kid under 3 years old without a car seat, that kind of shit. And it was right around election time with Trump coming up for 2020 election. I think we were talking about election stuff, and someone may have just been pissed off.
Is my friend Joseph in the audience? Joseph Jaffe. If you're down there, you should come up. I want to talk to you about something. But if you're sleeping, then clearly you're not hearing this. Oh, there you are. Joseph, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not bad. I'll just use this. I was gonna back channel you, but I want to do different kinds of rooms coming up soon, probably after Thanksgiving holiday if you're open for it. Talking about some things that are kind of in your wheelhouse, my wheelhouse. It's non-political. Just wanted to see if you're interested.
Yeah, no, I would love to do that.
Awesome. And
That'd be awesome.
I'm glad you're here. I know that you and I don't agree politically, which is why I don't engage with you on that stuff, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for the stuff that you bring to the table when it comes to organizational theory and marketing and all that madness. So I really appreciate you.
I feel the same way about you. You know that.
So okay, love story is over. We'll connect after the holiday and get some rooms going.
Yeah, brilliant. Look forward to it.
Awesome. Now we're back to we're gonna argue again, Joseph. So enjoy. Maybe we'll say some provocative things and get this room humming again. So I heard in the chat that Unk killed the room. Unk does not kill the room. Look, for Unk to kill the room, that would just mean that you don't like learning from an old black guy. So your bigotry is showing if you don't like to listen to Unk. Unk has wisdom that we can all learn from, and I like the way he tells his stories. Even if he carries on a little bit, who cares? Who cares? He's earned that right. There's certain people that I will allow to drone on. Unk is definitely one of them, and Shirley's the other. But the rest of you guys can get it together. Double agent has a fucking badge. This is crazy. It's freaking me out here a little bit. Agent, how do you feel having a badge? Do you feel like, you put in your 4 years of Clubhouse and now you've earned enough trust to have a badge? What's going on with you? Oh, he's not here. He's not listening. Okay, fuck him. This is why he doesn't get a badge. He stage squats. I just gave a badge to Eric for laughing. That's how we do this stuff. Cool C, you're never going to get a fucking badge. I don't give a shit. You can say the most clever shit. You can make me laugh. You can introduce me to a fine black woman. I'm never going to ever give you a badge just because.
Wow. It's kind of funny.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe you can earn it. Fuck. Dude, listen, I've known Agent here for 4 years, and I think this is the first time he's ever been moderated in a room that I've been in. Maybe second. Who knows? And then Mark Diamond's here. Mark Diamond, it's been a while since I've seen him that I don't even remember if I like him or dislike him, but I'm going to mod him and we'll see what happens. Joseph, I would mod you, but I feel like your lefty friends would be like, what the fuck were you doing being moderated up in Roger's room? I'll give it to you, but, you can decline it too. There we go. And James, what's James' story here? James Snyder. I know who James Snyder is, but I also know that James Snyder's got a pink ticket, and I'm damn sure not moderating somebody with a pink fucking ticket.
Maybe you just found your room for the first time and he's new to it.
Is this a new house? Why am I pink?
James Snyder?
Yeah, it means you're new house.
Whatever. No, I don't think
Roger
so.
didn't have a room before, I don't think.
Bro, I've been running rooms since before you fucking found this out. What are we talking about?
No, I know. I've been in your other rooms, but never in... I just found your house like 3 weeks ago.
Alright. I'm bringing up Big Famous. This guy looks like he's very interesting. He's either a sports star or he's in a gang. He's got a lot of red on. I'm going to invite him up. We'll see what he has to say. Let's see. Hopefully he's not in a gang.
I'm laughing. The introduction was crazy. I'm not a sports star and I'm not in the gang, but I am a black guy who is interested in your conversation.
There we go. Well, shit, man. Why don't you take a shot at the title of the room? Should we force equality? What's your thoughts?
What kind of equality are we talking about? Equality between men and women, or equality between different races?
Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that the same kind of cultural Marxist positioning that that we're referring to? Because at the end of the day, skin color and genitalia shouldn't be a qualification for a job.
No. So if we're talking about equality between genders, as far as men and women, I have a different stance versus equality between races versus black, white, Mexican. Therefore, you know what I'm saying?
Is Mexican a race? I'm trying to keep up. Look, I'm just trying to figure it out. Look, if it is a race, then fucking, we should give high priority to the people that make our tacos, right?
Oh, my God.
Should we not? Like, if there's anyone that should be privileged, it's those that supply the tacos.
That is funny.
No, listen. I'm black. I'm kind of racist, though, so I'm going to be laughing at a lot of these jokes.
When you say you're racist, what does that mean?
I'm racist. The same way that other people look at racist. If you make a funny joke about another race, I'm going to laugh at it. I'm not going to laugh.
I'm going to bring Pepe up so you guys can trauma bond.
I know who Pepe is. I've spoke to him before.
Okay. You guys agree
He's
on
my Mexican brother.
Pepe's not even Mexican.
He's white. He's white-Mexican, so he's like white and Mexican.
I'm just white, but people like to call me Mexican.
You're white, but you look Mexican, so.
Amazing.
Okay, we brought Necro up. Nobody knows what the fuck he is, but he's like the mother lode of all the bad ideas.
So Roger, what are you? Are you Aryan?
That's a good question. I am. I'm a bit of a mutt, like most folks here in America. I am a quarter Portuguese, and then it gets a little choppy from there. I got some German, I got some English, got some Irish. But the one I identify the most with is I was raised by my grandmother, who was 100% Portuguese, and so culturally I associate more, identify more with the Portuguese culture.
I have Irish and Spaniard blood as well, so you might be one of my cousins. We just got different color skin, but I appreciate you.
Yeah. Let's dive into this thing. So I don't believe that people are equal. I think that, for example, some people are more talented, some people are more knowledgeable, some people are, work harder, some people are lazier, and I don't think that. Why did this person interrupt me? That's fucking weird. Okay.
I completely agree.
The audience, you go. Yeah, and I think once we recognize that we're not equal, then we could just say, okay, well, how do we navigate the world knowing that we're not equal? And I think the wrong thing to do is to say, oh, well, maybe if we get this government involved, they will be able to fix all the problems. And that's where I reject it. I think that recognizing that we are different and that and those differences can lead to different outcomes. I think we should embrace. Eric, what are you doing? There you go. Wow, that was wild. Anyhow, so many distractions today. Yeah, I personally think that we need self-governance. We don't need federal governance in our lives. What is this? Hold on. Necro's saying Roger's not triggered. It's just how he talks. Don't take it personal.
Who is she talking to? Because I didn't take anything personal. I also feel like we need to have martial law. We need to have our own laws in our own cities and towns.
Well, that's not what martial law means, but...
so give me an explanation of what martial law means.
Well, martial law is when the authorities declare that rights are going to be temporarily restricted. Yeah, and that you're going to be restricted on where you can go, what time you can leave your home, what parts of town you can be in. There's a lot of restrictions that could be present with martial law, but that's not. It's certainly not self-governance.
So what's the difference? Didn't we go through that in COVID-19?
Actually, I think depending on what state you were in, you probably did. And if you were working in the military, you absolutely did. There's a lot of companies that crossed the line on the expectations that they had for their employees. Depending on what state you were in, it was an absolute fucking disaster.
So I agree with you. We should have martial law.
Everyone remember in Walmart, the lines on the floors? You have to walk certain ways.
Yeah, you have to be 6 feet apart from each other. You had to walk a certain way. They had arrows pointing in the direction where you should walk on different sides of the aisle.
Luckily, my state, we just ignored all of that.
I think everybody did. I don't think you got penalized or incarcerated.
Well, there's that one guy who walked into Walmart without a mask on, and they choked him out and threw him on the ground and gave him a concussion and a brain bleed.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you're right. That's not martial law. That's corporate law, I would say, almost.
Hopefully you got some of that Walmart money.
Do you guys shop at Walmart?
Everything I get's from Walmart. My suit's from Walmart.
And where are their products?
Please don't ever buy another shoe from Walmart, brother.
I go to Walmart for one reason and one reason only. I go there when they have exclusive Transformer toys that I collect. That's the only time I go into Walmart. I used to go into Walmart and hit the clearance rack, and I would scan items, and I would purchase things that I could then sell online for a profit. Little retail arbitrage move, and it used to be quite lucrative, but now like there's even the clearance rack. You're not getting the kind of deals that you need to be able to flip. So now like any sensible retail arbitrage is like you're no longer going to the retail store to the clearance rack. You got to hit like the the Goodwill store or a flea market or a garage sale. Garage sales are a gold mine for retail arbitrage. But anyhow, what do you guys think about this title?
You have to give a definition for the word arbitrage, because a lot of people don't know what that means.
Oh, no, a lot of people do. And I'm a big believer that if I throw something out and somebody doesn't know what it means, they have Google, and they could go and fucking ask, hey, what the fuck does that word mean? By the way, anytime you're in a room and somebody's talking about a concept that you don't understand, that's probably the best thing you should do. I mean, for those of you chat rats that are just listening and doing nothing, not participating in the conversation, you should have like ChatGPT or Google open and when somebody makes a claim, right? Like especially when the lefties come in here and make their weird claims, you should just type their claim in and just in real time fact check them. It'd be very interesting. Like, can you imagine if we just fact check? Oh, black woman's coming up. This is a perfect opportunity. Whatever black woman says, just go ahead and type that into Google and fact check her in real time. What's up, black woman?
Arbitrary means based on random choice or personal whim rather than any reason or system. Arbitrary. The key word, the base word of arbitrage.
Can we look at black woman's PTR? Tell me she doesn't look like Nell Carter from Give Me a Break.
That's not funny. Like she's not.
You're going to hell. You're going to hell. Your PTR looks like Aryan brother. Never mind.
He said you're going to hell because that was funny.
Yeah, he does look like an Aryan brother. He does.
Yeah, but her picture's only an emoji, not herself. It looks like.
Yeah, and listen, famous. At least I don't have Cracker Jack fucking tattoos.
Yes, sir. I have 7 tattoos. I will let you get away with that. But you're smoking a dick.
Now have multiple husbands.
That's cool.
You never been married, Roger.
Yeah, but he does love his black women.
I love white women.
At least that's what he says.
I love white women.
Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna proclaim this loud and proud. I've had more black pussy than this whole stage combined.
Cap.
Period.
That's what he always claims.
Listen, I'll let you get away with that because I've had some white pussies and I love them. I enjoy them very well. So
let me prove this.
I'll let you get away with that.
Hold on. Let me prove this. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Roger and the black pussy. Put a 1 in the chat if you know about Roger.
They put 1s in this chat right now. I'm going to go crazy. Roger, what the fuck do you have going on, Roger?
So,
oh my God, it's a lot of Roger. What the fuck do you got going on, Roger?
Here's the deal, famous, and we could I could show you the secrets, right? It's very easy. You know what black women like? They like men that eat pussy, and black men listen to Eazy-E, who told them.
Wait a minute, you had me when you said the first part. I don't know about that, but you might have won what you said. They want some pussy. You might get it more than I do. You might get it more than I do. You might be right about that.
This isn't gonna.
Do not add the Eazy-E part. Please do not add the Eazy-E part.
I'm going to add it because Eazy-E famously said, "I may be a woman beater, but I'm not a pussy eater."
What the fuck?
That's not all black men, Roger. That's not all black men.
Hold on.
That's not all black men.
Everyone mute up. You'll learn the rules of the room. Listen, when he said that, he caused an entire generation of black men to stop eating pussy. And so what happened was I, as a community service, I filled that gap. I became the pussy eater for the black community. And so, look, I am providing a societal good. I became proficient at it. And so, as such, I have street cred. My name is good in the hood. So, just go ask.
Roger, you're good in my hood. Come to my hood. You're good. I got you.
You might be able to hook him up with another sister.
No, he's going to hook me up with his sister.
You can have her, dude.
After you already had her?
Oh, that's gross. Listen,
No, Roger. If we're going to be funny, let's be funny. Well, no, black woman, I got you. You don't have to be. If he wants to be funny, let's be funny. Because I know how to do as well.
Hey, okay, so listen, this might work perfectly because I have two sisters and they're both fat white girls. And I know how fat white girls and black guys go together. So this really could work out.
That's me, Roger. No comment. That's me. I'm not going to say nothing about black
Black woman, I got him. Let him do his thing. I got it. I know how to troll like this too.
I'm not trolling. There is truth in
I know you're not, because a couple of your sisters have given me head, and they did not want to. You know, that's what they do growing up. They just give you the head.
You like the snow bunny.
I loved it.
Yes. Interesting. Is there anybody else on stage that likes fat white girls besides
me? I do.
Girls who are a little bit. How fat are we talking?
Yeah, because I like girls who are a little bit extra.
Why are the fat white girls on stage not speaking?
There are no fat white girls on stage. I don't allow them on stage.
Okay.
Wait, you're saying
so why don't you invite them? Why are you speaking about them when they're not here? Invite them.
Can we
just have a conversation?
Let me ask you this.
Let's see who they like better.
Let me ask this question. Let's look at Black Woman's PTR again. And do you guys remember the show Give Me a Break? It's just a show.
Oh, Roger. Go fuck your mother, Roger. Because you're making me...
Why do you keep speaking?
But you keep coming for me.
Look at you with your purple lips.
Well, Roger looks like he was off a prison break. But we don't speak on him. Just don't mind him.
Let me move down. I won't move myself.
I'm
going to move myself.
Roger is part of the Hells Angels. But we do not speak about him. Let him get his jokes off.
Coming on to you, Black Woman.
Hey, did somebody move Black Woman?
Where the fuck did she go?
Hey, listen. If anybody did that, that's not cool. Black Woman is definitely a weirdo, but we allow weirdos in our space. Please do not remove her from the stage. Now, if she removed herself, that's a different story. But
did you remove her and then ask did she get removed?
He would not do that to her.
Arkham Asylum would definitely do that to her. That nigga looks like Bane.
Roger won't do that.
Bane would do it.
No, I don't remove people unless they're doing. There's a couple of pet peeves that I have. Like, you know, I can only take so much communism, and then I have to throw them out of the room. Better than throwing them from helicopters, I suppose. And then there's the interrupting thing. I just don't do well with interrupting. Vegans, not a fan of those. Those, I mean, not a fan of vegans whatsoever.
What about
vegetarians?
Hey, you voted for Donald Trump.
And I've been kicked off stage.
Roger, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I have never voted for Donald Trump in any of his elections.
You're crazy. You should have, because you sound just like him right now. Salute to Donald Trump, but you sound just like him right now.
He voted for Norm Green, another person on.
Who the fuck is Norman Green?
He's the best. He's the last hope of the Democratic Party.
The Great White Hope.
Nope. He's Jewish man, and Jewish is not black nor white. But there's that.
They are. The Jewish is white for sure. The Jewish is definitely white.
Can any of my Jewish friends take this fight for me? Because I don't.
You're one of Hitler's little cousins.
I'm Jewish. We transcended beyond your idea of colors. We are better than you. We are bigger. We are
Whoa,
better.
is this a YouTube video?
It depends who
Stop
what
playing
other
YouTube video
people
on me. What the fuck?
what other people think we are. We're white enough for some,
David, you're
not for
definitely a
others.
Jew. I can tell by your glasses.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We're conditionally white in some places and not white enough in others.
What do you consider yourself, David?
I do put down Caucasian.
I mean, do you? If somebody asked
you eat gefilte fish.
I mean, if somebody asked if you're white, you just say yes. Like, do you identify as white?
Dave, my bad.
Here you go.
I'll just have definitely identify as white.
Get the fuck out of here. My father's.
No, don't tell me get the fuck out of here, because I identify as white. I think I'm Travis Barker. I identify as Travis Barker, and nobody can tell me no different.
I'm half German. My grandmother came from England on my mother's side, and my grandfather was Russian. So, what do you want?
No,
you're Russian, and
I just noticed some Jews, like, they just don't they refuse to call themselves white. Some insist they're white, so I don't. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Yeah, no, it wasn't until I came on this app that I had to think about it. So just, I don't know. It's just the way I identified from birth. But, Obama's half and half, but the world considers him black.
Obama's not black. He's Chinese and, like, something else. I don't know.
So, I don't know.
And Michael, what is Michael?
Who, Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Michael Obama. When he says Michael and I.
Who the fuck is Michael Obama? Oh, Michael, the nigga. Oh, that's the man. that person identifies as male.
Yes, he said Michael and I on stage. He used to be gay in college.
Oh no, that's the man. The person that he's with identifies as other, but I feel like that's a man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
that's why he said Michael and I.
I thought you was talking about Michael Jackson. I was gonna say he white too, but
I have to tell you.
No, Michael Jackson was white once he changed his skin color.
Everyone hold on. Everyone relax. Listen, I don't mind picking on Mr. Obama, but and either of the Mr. Obamas, but I do want to say this, that I think that some of you are full of shit, because I remember talking to people before the whole Michael stuff came out, and people saying, "Oh, Michelle got cake," and so it went from Michelle had cake to Michelle is Michael, and this is what I think. I think some of you don't care. You
talk to your friends, and you guys like to smack each other on the butt. That's what y'all do.
Famous. I think you would smash either.
I would not fuck with a Michelle Obama. I would not.
Well, just stop
I think
calling
you're
me
fucking
Lil
low.
Carter. Stop calling me that. That's not fucking funny. Go commit incest like you white people always do.
Oh, they definitely fuck their cousins. But
yeah, calling me
you don't be so aggressive when you say it.
Roger, why you in front of a black American woman? She died. That's not funny.
Michelle Obama is not a black American woman.
She died.
What are you talking about?
You're calling me Camille Carter. She died.
You called her black. You called her somebody that died.
No, I called her Nell Carter from Give Me a Break.
Why would you bring up someone that died?
You look just like
Call him Hitler. Call him Hitler. Get him back. Hey, Hitler, leave her alone.
Roger,
wait, hold on. I have a question for
He wasn't trying to pick on you. He likes.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Famous.
Stop trying to be on white and cool.
Black woman, please.
Yes, he was trying to pick on
famous.
Black woman, change your name, because I don't like when black woman. Please change your name. I don't like when they say it. Change your name.
Hey,
go ahead with the question.
Just stay on mute, black woman. Famous.
I fucking hate it. Go ahead.
I want you to look at the PTR of Fantana. Are you attracted to Fantana?
She's too pale for me.
Santana,
That's a
can
good
you
black
hold
woman.
on? No, black woman.
That's a good black
Black
woman.
woman.
He
Hey,
said
black
too
woman.
good.
She's too pale for me. I don't care if she's
Yeah.
black or not.
Black
She's too pale.
woman.
To like white women.
So, hey,
But wait a minute.
hey, somebody
Black
interrupt
woman,
me.
change your name. I don't like the way they keep saying your name. Change your name.
Okay, I'm gonna try to change it. Damn.
All right. I guess I'm gonna have to teach you guys the hard way.
Change it to indigenous woman or something.
Okay. Listen. I'm no longer doing the fucking speak over each other thing. It's fucking annoying. Listen, I don't know what rooms you guys are hanging out in where like it's just cool to just everybody speak over each other. We should just talk one at a time. It's very weird.
Have you been in Black Clubhouse before?
Bro, I don't need Black Clubhouse, dude. I grew up in the fucking black neighborhood. And the one thing I can tell you is that on Clubhouse, people take liberties that they wouldn't in real life. Because if somebody like myself spoke up, shot caller, fucking said, hey, y'all shut the fuck up. I got something to say. Everybody would shut the fuck up. And on Clubhouse, people act out because they don't have the same social consequence that happens in real life. So there's that. Is Santana here?
Yes. This famous guy is way too dumb for me. Yeah, I would never. Yeah.
I was just wondering if he was attracted to you. That would have been weird. It would have been nice if he would have said yes, and then you could have said hello to him. That would have been fun.
In fact, he woke me up out of my fucking nap with nothing pisses me off more. It had nothing of content, nothing substantive to say.
You know what I don't like about him? I don't like the fact that he's got these like facial tattoos and he's like wearing a red hat and a red shirt. Like that look went out like 30 years ago. Like, I mean, there's no contrast. So he needs somebody to advise him on fashion. He just looked weird. He looks like a guy that would be hanging out fucking in shouting Pyru on a corner in fucking LA.
It just means he might have voted Trump too.
Maybe. I don't know about you guys that voted for Trump. I mean, I guess you're slightly better than the people that voted for Harris, but ugh. Mark's back. Famous says he definitely voted for Trump. All right, well, there's that.
Yeah.
You got to bring him back up now.
I will say, like, I wasn't certain who was going to win. I mean, I definitely was skeptical of Alan Lichtman.
Necro, can you tell the room who was certain on who was going to win?
Can I bring him up? Someone did.
Well, I know of people who were certain. Alan Lichtman.
I know Roger was certain.
He was wrong though. But yeah, Roger, you were pretty certain.
Yeah. Did I call the result of the election almost perfect?
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. And the people that called it incorrectly, they're hiding. They don't even want to be on the app anymore.
Yeah. Well, I know Alan Lichtman's the only person like that he's been on with Cenk Uygur, and he keeps on calling. He accused Cenk of blasphemy for saying that he was wrong. And I was like, this isn't the dark ages, Lichtman. Saying blasphemy when you've been shown to be wrong doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you voted for Norm Green, did you collect on your winnings on the election or donate them to charity, Roger?
Yeah, I've instructed those that owed me money to donate to Maj Touré's political action group called Black Guns Matter out of Philly. So if you believe that blacks should have the same rights to protect themselves as white people, then I encourage everyone to donate to Black Guns Matter. Shout out to Maj.
Did you get proof of them doing it or no, or you didn't care?
Wait, hold on. Let's bring up one of the people if she'll come up. Israel, come up here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point about black guns because, yeah, they've been the only people who have not been recognized for their Second Amendment rights.
Pokemon, get up here, please. And don't nobody pick on her. Pokemon's one of my favorite people on the app. Doesn't matter, we disagree on politics. She's cool. But I haven't asked for the receipt but I just assume that it's happened because Pokemon is honorable.
If she didn't, or they didn't like that charity, they may have done it to another charity on your behalf, I hope.
Yeah, maybe. Look, the bottom line is people were wrong. I was dead. I was so spectacularly right that people should be investigating me on how did you know? How did you know? That's what should be happening right now. I said that he would win every swing state. What did he do? He won every swing state.
Yeah.
Part of it was he did a lot of campaigning in Pennsylvania. He was here a lot with Vance and Elon.
Elon spent 2 weeks by himself in Pennsylvania. Went to school there for 3 years, so he had some relationship with the state.
Sorry.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, right?
No, it's towards Philly area. Got a bar. He was giving out money that came back to Butler with him, and I don't know. He was giving out $1 million like every hour for anyone that just came up to talk to him, not necessarily vote.
Excuse me, it was not every hour. Do not say that. It was a lottery.
It was a lottery done more than
people
one
did
day.
win.
I'll
yes,
get
but
you
not
the
every
exact
hour,
sum.
okay?
Okay, not
Please
every
do.
hour. It was multiple days, and it wasn't even they didn't have to vote for it.
No, that would have
Isn't
been
this
illegal.
someone else? Isn't this someone else speaking, Michaela? Or something?
it's the
You
movie.
change your profile? You changed your profile?
Yesterday, I was showing someone how PTR works, but I don't know.
Now you change for at least 2 weeks. Okay?
What?
Your profile's name's changed for at least 2 weeks. You can't do anything.
I've had one on more than a year, and then one for over a year, and then thought, well, maybe I should change it because people tend to change over the year.
Yeah, but we know your voice, and it's hard to change that.
What's the
When you
point
go into
here?
a room,
Anybody
when
help
you go
me
into
out?
rooms, when you go,
Dude,
I'm not
why are you ragging on her? She's a
What's the point, Mark? What's the point? Can you
Michaela,
explain to me, Mark, what the point is?
it's just when you go into certain rooms, Michaela, or whatever your real name is.
I'll put it back. Sorry.
No,
I'm gonna dye my hair often, but that might bother you too. So everyone has a problem with
no, it's okay.
my looks or my voice.
It's your voice. Something about it.
God damn, Mark, you're being
Yeah,
mean.
nobody else has it. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I just know I'm one that occasionally will deal with you, but I hear a lot of other people get mad at you, so and want you kicked out of rooms at times, so that's why.
Dude,
Or they say, who let her up on stage?
she does comedy rooms. She does karaoke rooms. What are you? Why are you ragging on her?
I don't know. I've just noticed that about
I
her.
haven't been in any room. The last time I got kicked out was Kelly was on here. Yeah, Kelly kicked me out of here once. And Laura, someone who's lost her privileges for being a retard, used that word to many people, lost her privileges on chat for kicking me out of a room and misusing or slandering C-Rock's name and my name. These are the times I've gotten kicked out of rooms. I know not to enter certain rooms where I've been called in as like a bait sort of thing.
Hey, let's get back on topic.
But yeah, this is not.
Hold on.
This is
Pause. We're going to get back on topic. I did want to give a shout out to Beaver, who said something that was correct in the chat about my number should have been 312. And I went back and I looked at the map that I was clicking in, and the reason for my error of calling out all the swing states but still getting at a number of 319 instead of 312 was I had accidentally clicked Trump for Connecticut. And so when I went back and looked at that, that's where the error was. So, but shout out to Beaver. Beaver was also very accurate. I think he should get his rewards as well for calling it spot on. So, yeah, I would have been even more precise if I hadn't fat fingered Connecticut.
It's okay.
So what is equality? That is it. Going back to what we were talking about before, is it races? Is it genders? Is it everything? Because just because you're smarter or stronger or whatever attributes you excel in, why if you're a black belt in jiu-jitsu, you're not going to go around kicking everybody's butt. So, how do you get to...
Do you have something resembling a point here?
Yeah, because there is a balance. So, but there is inequality, like you're saying. There are people that are better at things than other people, and so how does this fall out in the end?
Can I make a controversial my opinion, which it's never really changed?
Wait, your opinion is controversial? No way. Go ahead.
I believe group differences exist. That includes with races and different ethnic groups. You're going to have some groups, they're going to be more overrepresented for, high achieving people that are, I guess you could say of higher intelligence. You're going to have some groups that they'll be overrepresented in certain sports, that kind of thing. I mean, it's kind of a pattern that's been unbreakable. And I think that there's no way to really play with nature and make it go away, really. And nobody wants to be... Some of these groups tend to have a lot more problems in their community, and it kind of sucks, but nobody wants to think that, oh, well, maybe inherently we're just not as gifted as, like, I don't know, Asian people. And that's why we don't make as much money on average as them. It's why we get locked up more than them. I think it's an unfortunate reality, but I don't think there's anything you can do about it.
I'm kind of sick of hearing these guys talk blah, 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 blah about equality. I want to hear from the women about equality. Like, tell us about what you're experiencing, because obviously guys can spout off and blah, 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 but in all reality, it's not just race. No. I want to hear from the women.
Asking for them to explain their experience of how they've gotten treated better throughout life because they're pretty. Is that what you're asking for?
No, the exact opposite. If we're on the topic of equality, I want to hear the struggles that women have to go through of working the same job as a guy but making what 30% less. You know what I mean?
Well, maternal leave kicks in.
Hold on. Listen. I will definitely turn it over to the ladies, but I just want to say that it's patently false to say that women make 30% less than men, because the studies that you're looking at and the things that you're quoting don't factor in for industry, for title, for experience, for productivity. And once you start adjusting for these factors, you find out that the gender pay gap does not exist. But Mrs. Groot, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And at the end of the day, it's not, I got my master's degree. I worked in a male predominant industry before my husband said, okay, it's time for us to have kids and you stay home. If you compete and you hold the same capability, you get the job. This whole idea that we're less than and that we have to fight, maybe that's just my own lived experience, but the women in my life that I am around who hold a 6-year education, they didn't struggle. They went to multiple job interviews like everybody. Not every man goes into their first job interview and is picked. That's a false statement. That you go in, who I am, this is what I have to offer. So we have to stop this victim, sort of.
I'm not a feminist in the least, Mrs. By the way. I'm not going boo-hoo. And I do think men should probably be paid
Why are you
much more.
over-talking her? She wasn't done.
Oh, no, I'm agreeing with her. I'm sorry.
Yeah, anyways. The reason that women may not always qualify for particular positions, especially during the interview class, is able to environment view. So if we want to talk about preparing women properly, the way that they speak, the way that they show up, the dressing attire that you wear, I've been seeing women, especially this new age generation. I'm 35, but these young 21-year-olds are coming in corsets. I'm absolutely flabbergasted with the way that they're representing themselves, and then we want to cry inequality. So when you're a risk to a company or you got an attitude, and this is with men as well, men do the exact same thing. Men will show up and they look like crap, they smell like crap, and then they want to cry that they didn't get the job. This is not a gender issue. If you do not qualify for the job and you're a potential risk, and we don't take into the fact that the company invests a lot of money, including your training, actually are who you claim you are, they have the right to be picky. So anyways, stop making us look like victims. I have the same rights that you do as a man. And if a company doesn't want to hire me, thank you very much. I'll find someone who does.
Yeah, I guess maybe we should throw this over back to Father, who said he wanted to hear from the women. Do you think that there's an area in which women do not have the same rights as men?
I can only speak for.
I was asking Father, but
Father. I'm sorry that you said women.
No, I'm asking him. What area do you think women do not have the same rights?
Well, I mean, I'm not. I would have to say that they have the same rights, but as far as Americans are concerned, everybody has the same rights. But there's companies and different places that you work where you're not treated equal. You know what I mean?
Name one.
Well, like Walmart, or you go to, Target, or you go to any of the retail shops. It's all over the place. It's just
Women are promoted a lot quicker there. Don't you know that?
Are you speaking from anecdotal or, again, so back to what's fair? is okay. Are you comparing a first year a shelf stalker to a third year manager of a department? Like, this is back to the equality, right? So the people who have a doctorate degree that worked in the department that I did were paid significantly more than me and my master's degree, and rightfully so. So I also got paid less as a first year working for the department than a 10-year would have been paid. And like anybody who works for a company, when you can prove that you're great at what you do, you are an asset and you contribute something regardless of your education level. And if you're better at something than somebody with a higher education, there's this glorious thing called a promotion and in-house training within the company, or schooling within the company, or the company will pay for you to continue and further your education. So what are we talking about? Like, who are you comparing? Are you telling me that enter a job space and the man is objectively going to get a significantly higher pay? And if that's the case, where is that happening? Find a lawyer and make a lot of money directing these people to those inequalities. Because
I'll agree with you, because Walmart, anyone could go in there starting at like $15 an hour, or whatever the starting pay, male, woman, trans, whatever you are, will get the same start if you're on the shelf or you're a stocker or whatever you're doing. So it just depends. Once you work your way up, you're working your way up. But Target, same thing. Walmart, Target, grocery store, you're getting the same as the thing. Cold storage, they started $17 in my area, male or woman. If you come in there willing to work, just prove it. You're getting the same pay, maybe a shift differential, but that's about the only thing different.
Okay, let me ask this question a different way. What would be something that you guys would be open to passing a law that would design to make people's outcomes more equal? What would you like to see happen? We hear the grievances all the time, but I want to know what the policy prescription would be. And if you think that there should be none, then this isn't your turn to speak. I want to hear from the people that believe that there should be some sort of policy that would somehow make people more equal. I would love to understand what this policy might be that floats in your head. That's an awful lot of silence. I guess we agree that the laws right now protect equal rights to the extent that they're going to. And all of these other efforts that people have saying that they have some sort of, inherent, deficiency and need special protection to get a better outcome is just all hogwash. I think we agree.
Can I kind of do a bullshit one?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, say if someone wanted to be a trans teacher, or a teacher, but they're trans, and one day they wanted to dress up in their drag, and one day they wanted to dress up as a normal woman, back and forth each and every day. You think that's fair?
I would say
there may be some inequalities there.
I would say look to the dress code and act accordingly. Any organization could set a dress code on what you need to wear. So if a man wants to dress like a woman or a woman wants to dress like a man, I would just point to the dress code. I don't see how that has anything to do with government.
But I meant, like, as a teacher for your kids, and say that for a week they wanted to come in as a woman, and the next week they wanted to do a half week as a man, and then a week as a woman, or whatever. The trans men that want to pretend they're drag queens and all this. That's
okay. So I'm not a big fan of that. I would certainly do like an eye roll at people that look. I do an eye roll just at how tight some of these fucking men wear their pants these days. Like I do eye rolls at a lot of things. It's like men just don't act like men in general. But at the same time, when we start talking about the right to be able to do it, I have the right to roll my eyes. You have the right to do what you want to do. I would err on the side of permissiveness to allow people to act a goddamn fool. That being said, if the school district that you're in has different sensibilities and sets a dress code that's different, well, then if you want that job, then you're going to have to abide by that dress code. Dress codes are something that companies can institute, so can school.
I guess you're 100% right. I just was curious if someone wanted to.
Well, I typically don't say things that are 99.9% right. I try to say what I mean what I say. Thank you.
Yeah, that's just one. I don't know if I was a student or a parent that I could deal with it.
Yeah, no doubt. And here's how you impact that, right? All of a sudden, if the parents don't like that and they don't show up to go to PTA meetings anymore, or if they do, they complain about it. Or let's say let's say it's the music teacher, and now all of a sudden the parents are cranky about that. And they don't want to give money to the music boosters anymore. These are ways that you can vote with your with your feet. You can vote with your money. If you wanted to take your kid out of the school because you didn't like what they were doing, this is the thing about like CRT. Everybody was getting uptight about CRT. If somebody's teaching something out at the school that you don't like, take some ownership of it and pull your kid out. I mean, you could try to make change, and if they don't meet the changes, if the institution isn't teaching your kid what you want your kid to learn, exercise your rights and pull your kid out of there. I think the whole CRT thing cuts both ways, and that's something that a lot of you aren't ready to have that discussion, because at the end of the day, both sides on that issue want government control. Oh, great. Charles here.
Hey, Roger. How about we have a thought exercise? I don't agree with the point that I'm willing to take, the stance I'm willing to take. I don't agree with it, but I'm curious to see how you would approach the pushback.
All right, let's go. Give me what you got.
All right, so I think that we should legislate like affirmative action laws because of the systemic racism that still exists till today, and the history of systemic racism in this country. And I think that we're dealing with an unlevel playing field. So we need some kind of recompense from the law to help level things off. What are your thoughts?
No, I would reject that idea. What I would say is that what we need to do is all agree that giving priority to a particular group based on their immutable characteristics was the original problem, and you don't fix that original problem by doubling down and saying, yeah, hey, that's how we're going to fix this. We're just going to rearrange who gets the privilege and who gets denied the privilege. And I think equal rights for everyone should mean equal rights for everyone. And the argument that people say, oh, well, that's easy for you to say because the group that you identify with, they're the ones that got the head start. That's extremely unfortunate. However, if we're going to be logically consistent and we can recognize that giving favor to a group based on immutable characteristics, then clearly that's not the answer to solving that.
Yeah. So, Roger, the pushback to that is, we have this thing, this racial wealth gap, and it's showing no signs of closing.
But we don't.
We don't have a racial wealth gap?
No.
Yeah. No. Okay, so I just want to make sure we're clear. So you're saying that if you total up the wealth of so-called black...
But that's not how you would add up anything. Context matters, right? So if you were to ask, like, the questions that I would ask to be able to do fair comparison is, I would say, I would say, okay, so what was your income level? That's one determining factor. Then I would ask, did you inherit any money? And that would be another factor. What career were you in? How good were you at your job? I mean, look, there's wealth gaps between all kinds of people. I mean, even if you're a professional ball player, right? There's a wealth gap between the best player and the worst player, and all the players in between. There's a gap. But when you start controlling the variables and you start asking the question, like, okay, if I'm a dock worker and I'm a white guy, and you're a dock worker and you're a black guy, and neither of us inherited any money, can we measure the wealth that these two individuals have? And if you're going to say that it's unfair because somebody, let's say you introduce the variable or you take out the variable about inheritance, right? Which is where some of these conversations go. Then you're basically saying that it's unfair to give people money, right? Now, what was definitely unfair was that once upon a time, people didn't have the ability to accrue wealth, didn't have the ability to hand it down. So the way that you fix that problem is you remove those barriers. And then eventually what will happen is you'll be able to create wealth, be able to distribute the wealth downstream. And unfortunately, the same people that are crying about the idea of a wealth gap don't want the ability to be able to hand wealth down. And so you really got to get to the crux of this. The cultural Marxists, what they care about, it's very simple to understand. They used to simply go by class. And because class is mutable, you can go ahead and you can go from low class to middle class to upper class, depending on the moves that you make. You can exit poverty in a country that practices a free market. And so when you're able to do that, the revolution can't take place because the people that you counted on to be revolutionaries, maybe you stirred something up in them when they were in college and they're wearing their Che Guevara t-shirt that they spent $30 for. But once they got a job and they started understanding how money moves, they start realizing, like, this is actually not a bad system. I don't want to revolt. I don't want to join your revolution. And so because your income can be mutable, your wealth can be mutable, they moved it to categories around race and gender and sexual orientation. And that's the problem that we run into today. And so make no mistake about it. When you see what the progressives are up to, they are operating from a playbook that is 100 years old, and all they've done is they've tweaked it to because they recognize the fatal flaw. And the reason why the Marxist agenda didn't work is very simple. You can't have revolutionaries that aren't cranky with their government, and you're not going to be cranky with your government if you moved up and if you became comfortable or if you became wealthy. You become less likely to join the revolution. And so what people have done, they've joined academia and they've realized this, and they've said, we need to make it less about class and more about race and more about gender, because if we do that, we'll get our hooks in them. And then, because what we could do is we could point to historical injustices and we get people to rail against things that aren't even currently a problem for them. So then that's why you get people that are at the top of the wealth ladder, in the middle of the wealth ladder, at the bottom of the wealth ladder, that are still talking as if they're a revolutionary. It's you just have to pay attention. Once you see it, you can't.
Got it. So, when we started having the wealth conversation, the wealth gap conversation, I didn't want it just to be about income. You did address the inheritance, and I would love to dive deeper into that, but it's not it has nothing to do with the wealth gap per se, the income, whether or not there's income disparities. That's not the argument I would make. It would more so be based on, people having the ability to inherit funds and being so far ahead that, closing that gap is damn near impossible.
Okay, so are you aware of the event that took place last Sunday?
You're a little muffled, Raj.
Well, can you hear me now?
Much better.
Can
Can you hear me now?
Much better, Roger. I don't know if you heard me.
Oh,
Much better.
Okay, got it. So let me ask you this. If are you familiar with an event that took place, it's a decade-long event that took place last century called the Great Depression? Is that familiar to you?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Okay, got it. So let's say you had generations of Americans that had built wealth and had these unfair advantages, as you might call them, and then the Great Depression comes along and takes the wealth from these families, and then there's a recalibration that takes place. This assumption that white people have all this wealth and all this benefit, it makes two mistakes. It doesn't take into consideration that the vast majority of white people didn't have slaves. It also doesn't take into consideration that slavery was actually not efficient. It was actually quite expensive. Wages are actually lower than feeding and housing someone. And then on top of that, anyone that did, let's say if you did it at scale and you did have some financial benefit from it, the vast majority of the United States wealth was completely wiped out in a 10-year period. And so, and this problem was made worse by ushering policies, by an evil administration under FDR, who really didn't care about human rights at all. I mean, just look at what he did to the poor Japanese Americans, right? And so, when I look at this stuff, all I can say is that it's very difficult to go back in time and fix a problem that existed before we were even born. What we can do is we can recognize an injustice and we can say, we're not going to do that again. We're not going to repeat that mistake. I don't think that you're going to be able to fix the problem of the generational wealth, because if that's the goal, then how do we fix the wealth that was destroyed during the Depression? What about people?
Roger.
Let me finish my point. You know what? Just go ahead and speak. This is why interruptions don't work. Go right ahead. Whatever you had to say is 10 times as important as whatever I was saying. Go ahead.
Raj, I didn't want to take it back to slavery. I'm happy to start with post the Depression. I'm happy to start with that. I never mentioned slavery in any of my submissions. That's not even a part of my thought process. If we were to just take it post Depression, right? If we were to look at stuff like Jim Crow and redlining, the impacts on that on generational wealth, of having the ability to acquire wealth and pass it down through inheritance to your descendants, I think that there's plenty of meat on that bone by itself. We don't have to go back to slavery.
That's fine. That's fine. So you want to start with Jim Crow and redlining, and are you willing to throw in that? So what do you do then for people that have no wealth, that were not impacted by Jim Crow or redlining? Are we fixing all problems, or are we only concerned with fixing the problems that were created by Jim Crow and redlining?
No, Roger, I don't think we can fix all problems, right? And this is a thought exercise, Roger. I just want to point this out. So me taking this stance, here's, that side of the argument is that you forced people to live in certain areas. They were not allowed to buy homes in certain areas. Those homes have appreciated fantastically. That appreciation, it allows people to pass on wealth. The vast majority of Americans, their wealth is tied to their home ownership. Additionally, you have situations where because of racist policies, particularly 50s, 60s, and beyond, certain people weren't able to get into certain public institutions. Let's say, for example, if it was something like the police department, the fire department, we could point to racist policies in those governmental institutions that Black people contributed taxes towards, and they weren't able to get some of those good ass jobs and participate in that middle class life and acquire the things that, certain middle class people did acquire and, pass on that wealth to their, subsequent generations. I'm just trying to see how you combat that point of view.
Yeah, it's quite simple, and it doesn't change from my previous position, which is I can't fix the problems of the past. What I can do is I can simply recognize injustices that didn't work, that created negative externalities for large groups of people. And what we do is we learn from that, and we say, okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to repeat that. And the problem is that the very mistakes that were made to give in-group preference and exclude people in the out-group is precisely what the progressives are trying to do. All they're doing is just rearranging who is part of the in-group and who should be excluded from that. And I think the common sense answer to all of this is to just make sure that we have laws that equally apply moving forward, that everyone is going to have the equal protection under the law. We can't fix the problems of the past. We don't have a time machine. I'll tell you what, Anthony, somebody invents a time machine, we can then say, oh, now we can go back. Then we'll have to have the moral question of should we go.
Yeah, I agreed with the Supreme Court when they overturned affirmative action because it doesn't benefit blacks when you look at the data, but it does benefit white women, which is why it's amusing that they're the people most angry about affirmative action.
Actually, the Supreme Court had to rule on how unfairly Asians were treated based on affirmative action.
That's true.
I think on Clubhouse people forget that there's this world in people's mind that exists where it's only white people and it's only black people, and the black people are so very, very good and the white people are so very, very bad, and nobody else even exists. When you mention another group of people, their heads explode because it's like, wow, that doesn't fit the narrative.
Anyway, so to your point, Raj, the pushback would be that it's easy for you being a member of the class that's the dominant class that has the majority of the wealth. It would be easy for you to sit in your ivory tower and say, well, there's nothing we can do to fix it. Well, how about we put some laws in place in an effort to just try to give some kind of special consideration, and that maybe that special consideration can lead to a more equitable.
I feel like I'm responding to what you're saying, but you're not responding to what I'm saying. I want you to contend with the fact that what you just said about special consideration was given to white Protestant men. And this began a series of events that creates a bunch of problems that we're now discussing. And so I want you to contend with what I just said.
So the way I contend with what you just said, right, is your assertion is that you don't fight special considerations with more special considerations on the other side. That's your contention. You feel that we should just do away with special considerations, period. And my contention to that is that I think you could make an effective argument that we do give special considerations to balance out the years and years of inequity. I think that there's an argument there. That's what, I don't think you feel I'm being responsive to what you're saying.
Anthony, where's the starting point? Because when I said slavery, you said, I don't want to start there. I want to start with Jim Crow. Why can't I go back as a Portuguese male and say, hey, can we start and talk about what the Moors did in Portugal? And I don't think people are ready to have that conversation. History is very long, and there's a lot of grievances. When we talk a lot in this room about, the conflict in Israel, and we look at that land, and when you start getting down to the nitty-gritty of it, you had the Byzantines, you had the Romans, you had the British Empire, you had the Persian Empire. There's a lot of people that lay claim to certain, pieces of land over a long period of time, which is why we can't adjudicate it simply by saying, hey, a crime was committed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just reverse course because we need to, quote unquote, level the playing field. The leveling of the playing field is to have laws that respect individual rights and have a sense of justice behind them. And there was no justice and there was no individual rights for entire groups of people because they were part of the out-group. You want to correct this problem, you have to say, we're going to do away with this whole in-group preference. The only real in-group preference we should have in the United States is, hey, you're in the United States, you're protected by the Constitution. That makes you part of the in-group, regardless of your genitalia, regardless of your skin color, and that's the way we build for the future. But if you think it's productive to look into the past, then go for it. I don't think it is.
Got it. All good, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I did the best job of representing the other point of view. I more so lean towards your point of view. I more so lean that way, but I thought just as we didn't have much action on stage, so fuck it. I'll take the bait and try. So it's all good.
All good. All good. Anthony, we love you. What else? What else is going on? I'm sure I offended somebody. If there's anybody that's offended in this room, I'm going to predict it's a progressive white woman. I guarantee that if anyone in this room is offended, it's not a person of color. It's not some intersectionality fucking bullshit. It's some progressive white woman that's pearl clutching over the fact that, oh my God, did Roger just wave away historical injustices and say, let's get over it? And again, the people that are going to get upset about that are not the people that whose ancestors were typically impacted by it. What I've found is that in these conversations, it's that savior, it's that wicked progressive white woman with that cape that she puts on, that she's going to protect the groups that have been marginalized. Where are those progressive white women at?
You gonna open up that room, Roger? Progressive white women?
Progressive. Why did you put the thumbs down when me and Roger were talking?
What I was disagreeing with you, Anthony. I understand where you're coming from, but I was disagreeing with you.
What specifically were you disagreeing with?
Trying to press this. Okay, here we go. Roger's point of looking forward and not repeating the past mistakes is what I would agree to. And I think that, unless you can come up with something better than what was proposed in the past, and just consider that when you're ostracizing one group to try and make up for another group's, past discrepancies, it's always going to create more imbalance, and it's better to, look to the bright side of things, really. And that might be, some people might think that's naive, people might get angry at that, but just look in your personal life, when you look to the past, angry about whatever happened, you're better off letting it go and creating something in the future that's much, much better.
Fair enough, bro. Thank you for answering the question.
You got it, brother. You got it. I mean, I can go on and on and on about that subject matter. Just personally, it never worked. It's like my own family, wanting to heal my own family, right? I could think about things that I would want to happen that I was angry about in the past from my brother, or, my sister's angry about this, and my uncle's not talking to this person. It's a blame game that's a vicious cycle that never ends. And true healing comes from
forgiveness, compassion, and love, period.
I couldn't say it better myself, bro. I wish more people adopted that point of view. It's ironic that we're talking about this, during the week of Thanksgiving, which, it might have started off whatever. You could make the argument it started off whatever, but I think it more so represented a time for families to, come together and, kind of, just share in love. And it's coming off this election cycle where you have families that seem like they're permanently separated as a result of one person voting Republican and another person voting Democrat. It's just some crazy times we live in.
Yeah. Roger, we got to start with you, right? More compassion, more love, more. What do we got?
Roger's the most compassionate, loving person on Clubhouse.
He's gonna call it brutally honest.
Well, here's what I would say is that I think we should account for the fact that some people aren't loving and compassionate, and that's why we need to be a nation of laws, and we need to be very well thought and intentional with what these laws are. And I think that we can look back and we can look at some of the mistakes that we've had that were codified in law. And usually it comes from the progressives that are really evil, although the conservatives can do some fuck shit too. But when I think of how do we want to build a society, I think what we need to do is we need to account for the fact that there are good people and there are bad people. We have to make a decision that when somebody harms somebody, if you hurt somebody, you take their stuff, we're going to remove you from society, at least until a time that you could prove that you could blend back into society without hurting people and without taking their stuff. And I think that the more that we think about people as individuals and communicate with people without, and I'm not making hey, we should be a colorblind society. That would be boring as fuck. Look, if we were colorblind, then I wouldn't be able to count the amount of black women I've slept with. That's a glorious thing. So I don't want to be colorblind. I want to see every nuance of color. I want to see that contrast, that caramel skin, and never mind. I won't get into too many details. There's too many women. I'll hold it back. But you get where I'm going, my friend. And so I think we just need common sense laws. We just need to make sure that individual rights are respected. And we need to recognize that the idea of equal outcomes and even the idea of equal opportunities is a complete rejection of the idea of equal protection under the law. Because if we're equally protected under the law, then there is no opportunity that should be reserved for you. It should be meritocracy. And I think part of the problem is that, and this is the thing that I think both sides get wrong, is you have one side that's very, very rigid, that resistance to change, doesn't want anything to change, especially the things that they think are good for society. And then you have another side, the progressives, that are very utopian and will paint this vision of a world that they think is going to be perfect, which is riddled with fucking flaws. And somewhere in the middle of all that is the reality that, there is no fucking utopia. And if things were perfect, we wouldn't even be talking about change. There wouldn't even be a faction asking for change. We need to expand individual liberty for everybody. And again, if you want to go back and critique the American history and the journey, there's a lot of things that you could point to where you could say, look, you guys theorized this, you wrote that down, you codified it in law, but then you still didn't allow everyone to participate fully. I think as long as we allow people, regardless of what their immutable characteristics are, to be able to share those equal rights, well, then we allow the chips to fall where they fall. If this were a poker game, right, we wouldn't say, hey, Bob's lost the last 10 games in a row. I think we should allow him to buy in for $100, but we're going to give him $1,000 worth of chips. That's not the way that you run the game. What you do is you hope that Bob learns how to play the game better, and then you commit to running a fair game. You don't cheat Bob. You just give Bob a seat at the fucking table, and you allow Bob to buy into the fucking game, and then based on his skill of the game, you allow him to navigate it. And if Bob becomes a better poker player, Bob will get all the chips. But we don't need to give Bob the chips. We need Bob to earn the fucking chips. The only thing that we're really responsible for is running a fair game. And I think the thing that Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, progressives, liberals, whatever you are, that all agree on is that the game is rigged, that the table isn't fair. We all think it's unfair in a different way. And so the goal should be, how do we get this poker game of fucking life to be a fair fucking game? And then you pull up and you get a chair. Autumn, previously known as Black Woman, who looks suspiciously like Nell Carter in her photograph, is saying, finally you're calling out Republicans. I don't know where the hell you've been. I've been calling out Republicans since day one on this app. You guys just don't listen.
Yeah, that's fair.
To the liberals, if you don't consistently and always talk badly about the Republicans, then you're a Republican. How dare you not talk good about the party?
I'm catching smoke in the chat because I find myself at times attracted to black women, and fetishizing black women. So I guess if I'm a Portuguese guy and I am attracted to Portuguese women, I don't know what you would call that, but if I were to declare that I'm attracted to someone from Venezuela or Israel or anywhere else in the world, that's fetishizing. I'd really love for Autumn Winter to come up here, previously known as Black Woman. We will bring her up if she'll come up. I hope she comes to the stage, mainly so you guys can see that she does look dead on like Nell Carter from Give Me a Break. For those of you too young, you can Google it, Nell Carter, Give Me a Break, and tell me if the PTR that she has looks the same. I don't know why she's saying fuck you. I don't think that Nell Carter was an unattractive woman. Now, she was a little bigger bone than I typically like, but that's a whole thing. There's people out there that like that sort of thing. I'm not here to criticize her.
A lot of people actually thought Nell Carter was a man. Okay, I personally, when I was younger, thought it was a drag queen, so I can understand why she's upset. You know, I don't fuck with her like that.
Who in the hell thought Nell Carter was a drag queen? You need glasses.
Hakima. Thank you for saying that, Hakima.
Oh, wait, hold on. Who did you think was better, Nell Carter on Give Me a Break or Mrs. Garrett from both Different Strokes and Facts of Life? Who do we like? No, nobody watched these shows. Am I the only old person in the room?
I like Nell Carter better. Definitely.
There you go.
I like both of them though. I like both of them. I do like Nell. Her attitude a little bit better.
I mean, it's just a different generation, but for me, I see no difference in Nell Carter and Gary Coleman. I think they look exactly the same.
Amazing, yo. Amazing.
You just said that Black Woman looks like Gary Coleman.
And she was like 5'6", and Gary Coleman was like 4'9".
What about Emmanuel Lewis? Remember Webster? Again,
was even smaller.
I think that her sleeping with Willie Brown had a lot to do with her early success in her career. And then putting a D next to her name in the state of California is really...
Isla was playing a game on her phone, just saw your message. Oh, so these two know each other. They're in cahoots. Isla, tell us more about your friend, Black Woman here.
Oh, we're not in cahoots. She messaged me and said hi, and since she's my friend, I would be rude not to speak. So I'm saying hi back to my friend.
Okay, fair enough.
Just out of curiosity, I'm under the impression that you're biracial. Is that correct?
Yes, that's good.
Okay, cool. And I'm not coming at you or anything like that. What has your experience been being a biracial person as it relates to racism? Have you experienced any racism in your family, anything of the sort?
No, my family, I haven't experienced that in my own family, no.
Like no distant relatives that might be on one side that might, have had a problem with the pairing between your parents and, kind of mistreated you or acted a little shady. A parent that didn't support the union and was like, hey, not really acknowledge you.
No, sir. No, my grandma is awesome. She's nice to my mom, and she's nice to all of us, all 7 of us. And my parents are still married. And so I didn't get that in my life, but I'm pretty sure it happens to somebody else.
Thank you. I appreciate you entertaining the question.
Anthony, are you biracial?
No, sir.
Bipolar?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Bisexual?
I don't think I don't believe that men are bisexual. I think that a bisexual man is a gay man that's pretending.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't remember who said it, but it was an interesting bit I heard not too long ago, that you have to really, really desire a man because women do have asses. You could fuck a woman in her ass. You don't have to fuck a man in the ass. So it really is about just a man being with a man. But I guess we could learn more about that from some of the other people that are on the stage. I don't want to pick on the gays, but I have noticed that there's more gays per capita today than there was when I was growing up. And I'm trying to figure out why. Some people will say they're grooming them. Others will just say that, hey, they're just coming out of the closet. They've always been there. What do you guys think? Do you think the increase in the gays, do you think that's how do we explain that?
I think it's become more socially acceptable. I think a lot of people were, like you said, in the closet. And now that, there's some movement in terms of their standing in society at large, I think that they feel more comfortable just being themselves. I think that, that's what I would attribute it to.
I think it's the food, Roger. I think it's in the food. And, but the good thing is we got RFK coming in. And so, not only is he going to make us healthier, he's going to make us less gay.
So, do you think that if he would have used that as a campaign slogan,
he would have won the runaway election. He would have won.
Make America less gay. Yeah, look, I don't mind gay people. I don't know what it is. They leave me the fuck alone. I've been around gay people a lot, I'm from the Bay Area, man. There was, when I grew up in Hayward, there was in downtown, there was tons of gay bars, and throughout San Francisco, tons of them. And I just don't mind that stuff. I actually quite enjoy talking to my friends that are gay, lesbian, and again, I don't buy the bisexual thing either. I think that's just I think those are just horny people that don't discriminate. They'd fuck a hole in the wall if you give them a chance. But the rest of the alphabet soup, man, can we be honest that the L's, the B's, and the G's would do much better if they separated themselves from the rest of the alphabet? What do you guys think?
Dave Chappelle's got a really good piece about what you just said, where they're driving in a car and they're going out to, they're taking a road trip. The L's and the G's are in the B's in the back, and then someone is hitchhiking, and it's really funny, people are people, man. You gotta just Everything's good and bad in everybody.
Yeah, I also think it's weird when the gay community gets a lot of flack. It's like, who really cares who somebody slept with? I mean, have you seen, like, even heterosexual couples? I mean, like, if we're going to get judgy and particular about who people sleep with, what about the guy that's got a really ugly wife, or the woman that's got a really ugly husband? Like, we're so less judgy about that, but we care so fucking much about, you know, something that somebody might do behind closed doors. I don't fucking get it. This is register for me why people are so interested in other people's mating habits.
So, Roger, is your title about ending, so should we force equality? Is it about ending, you would say, like, differences when it comes to racism?
Well, it's talking about, like, the key word here really is not equality. It's about force, right? Because I think equality is a myth. I don't think we are equal. I mean, you're certainly, more attractive than I am, for example. And there's a lot of, there's people that are shorter. There's people that are taller, younger, older, healthier, wiser, more ambitious. More skilled in playing an instrument. So there's all these inequalities that we face daily. And so I don't think equality should ever be a goal. And the only way that you would even get some semblance of what might look like equality is to use force. And the use of force would create distortions that we don't want. And I would just, point out that we've done that in the past, right? Is that we've said, look, even if the white male was stupid, we're going to treat that person better because they're part of this in-group. And so my position here is that we should just simply recognize the error of trying to create one set of laws for the in-group and another set of laws for the out-group, and we should have equal rights under the law, liberty and justice. If we have liberty and justice out in front of equality, people will feel that things are less out of balance, and that the inequality will matter less because you'll have that justice and the liberty that you're looking for. When you put equality in front of it, which is unattainable, you end up getting none of the three. That's my.
Hey, Roger. How are you? How's everybody?
Go ahead.
You made me think of something. My mom, the best advice my mom gave me was there's no equality in marriage between a husband and a wife. Or I guess for those married in same-sex marriages between partners. But there is no equality there, and it works better when there's an understanding that there is no equality. When you talk about, like, just household chores, if you will, or just the dynamics of a relationship or the dynamics of maintaining a household, which is similar to the dynamics of maintaining a business even, there is no equality. And I think a lot of marriages, and I'm using this as an example, but even within the context of a marriage, there seems to be a lot of issues when you start saying there's got to be equality in that. So you make a good point on that.
Yeah, so did that answer your question too?
Sure now.
All right, we'll move along. Marvin, what do you think? Oh, Marvin left. I was going to ask him what he thought. I know he shows bigotry towards women that are less than 5'10". I don't know if you guys knew that. So maybe we can talk him into opening up about why he shows such bigotry towards short women. Hakima, do you agree with my assessment?
I didn't catch the whole thing, Roger. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's okay. We're just a bunch of people spending time on just sending digital packets over the internet.
Hey, Rod, I got my PTR for you. What you think about it?
Hulk Hogan.
Is that? Are you the other guy in that photo? Who's?
No, that's some guy as part of the Goyim leader. Goyim, some anti-Semitic group. See, he's throwing up white pride or white people, whatever he's throwing up, and he got the 88 Hail Hitler shirt on.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's an anti-Semitic guy, and Hulk Hogan's endorsing it appears.
Could it not just be a fan that said, "Hey, Hulkster, can I pay my $15 and get my photo taken with you?"
It could be, but take what you will.
Yeah, I think if you were to take a look at celebrities that are taking pictures with their fans and then try to associate that somehow there's some negative association, it's just weird. I mean, I don't know what their relationship is. Somebody would have to explain it a little further. I have no idea who this kid is.
Social media really changed everything, didn't it? People commenting on just about everything.
What you want to do?
Getting triggered and starting a swarm of conversations around it, a photo, and it just goes on and on and on. It wasn't like that before.
Yeah, I think what people are asking for when it comes to equality.
Hello.
Hey, Kayla, it's John. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm good. Just got back from the gym. What are you doing?
Oh, nothing really. I worked this morning, so I came to have a drink at this bar that I go to near my apartment, and just kind of chilling out right now.
Nice. Well, you want me to roll us up a J and we'll have a drink?
Sure. Where at?
We could go to Stereo or anywhere in Logan Square or Wicker Park.
Okay, yeah, that sounds cool.
Okay, I'm in Jefferson Park, so I'm like about 20 minutes away.
Okay, do you wanna? I wanted to go visit my friend who bartends at this other bar and have a quick drink there too, because I work at Soldier Field and she's a huge Bears fan, so I want to go dish up the Bears game and work today. Do you want to say maybe we can meet around like 8? Does that work for you?
Yeah, I gotta hop in the shower.
Okay, cool.
Okay, do you want me to meet you at that bar, or do you want me to pick you up, or do you want to meet somewhere?
I'm not that far from there, so I can meet you there. That's cool.
Where is it?
Asteria?
Oh, Stereo. Okay, great. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying your friend's bar or something. I couldn't follow it.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Okay, great. Well, let's do Stereo at 8 then.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, bye.
What up? Uh-oh, my cover is blown. M. Kapara.
I was just opening up my own room so that Ryan could come in.
I can ping him in here. Hold on.
What do you have against me?
Wait, what is your name again?
Who are you talking to, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just teasing you. I don't have anything against you. I'm just trying to find out how tough you are. That's why I make fun of everybody's hair. That's why I call Diego Mr. Dandruff. Happy, happy, happy hair.
What is Ryan's name again?
Mrs. Sullivan.
Right here, I found it.
I was literally in my own room so that he can come in because I told Ted that he's. Ryan, I left after I told him off, and I was making my own room for you.
Oh, what happened?
Oh,
He
well,
kicked
he kicked you.
Who did?
Ted.
Ted.
I didn't even notice.
That's funny as fuck. I was like, you're gonna go crazy now.
That's okay. Little Haiti won't even ask her next time. Will she?
I don't think she even noticed what happens. Like
Yeah,
you.
'cause, like, no, but the thing with little Haiti is that she's on for like 2 seconds and then she's not paying attention to like what's going on in the room. So tired.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What's that? Dixie. Oh, Pivette.
Yes, hi, how are you? Ladies and gentlemen.
The other guy from Dubai.
Are you the guy that killed the Chabadnik, you son of a bitch? Did you kill Zvi?
No, don't say like this, bad words, please be gentle.
Benjamin Netanyahu has already declared that he will get vengeance and justice for Rabbi Zvi.
Please, be nice.
Please, be nice with me. Be nice.
I'm just very upset.
There is no Pepsi that he will be able to have.
Afwan Habibi, Afwan.
Joy, where are you from, mister?
I am from Uranus.